1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Ayesha Nayab. First, the headlines. Federal Cabinet at a meeting in Islamabad today with Prime Minister in the chair discussed overall political and economic situation of the country. Foreign Minister says welfare of overseas Pakistanis and resolving their problems is top priority of the government. Central Rete-Halal Committee meets in Peshawar this evening for sighting of Ramadan moon. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Hurriyat leadership has again called for unconditional and immediate release of all political detainees. United States has announced to station 500 more military personnel in Germany in a bid to strengthen bilateral ties. The third T20 of four-match series between Pakistan and South Africa will be played at Centurion tomorrow. And now the news in detail. Meeting of Federal Cabinet was held in Islamabad today with Prime Minister Imran Khan in the chair. The meeting discussed overall political and economic situation of the country. Prime Minister Imran Khan and President of Uzbekistan, Sakhawat Mirziyoyev and Mirziyoyev will have a virtual summit tomorrow. During the virtual summit, the leaders will review entire spectrum of bilateral relations including political, trade, economic, security, connectivity and people-to-people exchanges. The two sides would focus on enhancing political and strategic linkages, fast-tracking transit and trade cooperation, and building educational and cultural collaboration. The Trans-Afghan Railway project agreed between Pakistan and Uzbekistan and Afghanistan earlier this year is a key area of focus. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says the welfare of overseas Pakistanis and resolving their problems is top priority of the government. He expressed these views during his visit to Pakistani embassy in Berlin today. The Foreign Minister said we are going to open a new consulate office in Munich to improve the economic relations with Germany. He also inaugurated newly constructed office of Erze Navisi and football corner in the Berlin consulate. They stressed the need to strengthen the bilateral economic ties as per vision of the government under its economic diplomacy initiative. The Foreign Minister visited various sections of the embassy and expressed satisfaction over the facilities provided to Pakistani community in Germany. Talking to a media person in Berlin, the Foreign Minister said Pakistan is committed to work out the strategic engagement plan of Europe and Islamabad wants to explore cooperation with Germany, particularly in areas of information technology, solar energy and electric vehicles. He also expressed satisfaction that around 5,000 Pakistani students are currently studying at various educational institutions in Germany. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has said the economic relations between Pakistan and Germany will be taken to a new direction. Talking to a delegation of Pakistan community in Berlin, he said his meetings with the German counterpart and other leadership remained very productive. The Foreign Minister said government has introduced Roshan Digital Pakistan project to facilitate the overseas Pakistanis send their remittances through legal means. Ambassador designate to Saudi Arabia, Lieutenant General retired Bilal Akbar called on Finance Minister Hamad Azhar in Islamabad today. Speaking on the occasion, the minister said Pakistan and Saudi Arabia enjoy historical relations over the years. He said these bilateral ties are rooted in centuries-old religious, cultural and commercial links between the people of both the countries. Hamad Azhar said Pakistani diaspora in Saudi Arabia is a great asset for the country and the government has taken initiatives such as Roshan Digital accounts to facilitate non-resident Pakistanis for making investment in Pakistan. 118 more deaths due to coronavirus have been reported in the country. According to NCOC, a total of 5,520 tests were conducted throughout the country, out of which 4,318 patients were tested positive for coronavirus. The death toll due to the pandemic has mounted to 15,619, while 638,267 patients have fully recovered from the disease so far. Minister for Planning and Development Asad Umar says over 1.3 million people have been vaccinated so far against COVID-19 across the country. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad today, he said 60 to 70,000 vaccines are currently being administered on daily basis, and it is our effort to enhance it to 150,000 to 200,000 after Eid al-Fitr. The minister once again urged the people to fully comply with health guidelines to avoid the spread of coronavirus. This is Radio Pakistan. The Central Ru'yat Hilal Committee meets in Peshawar this evening for sighting of Ramazan al-Mubarak moon. The chairman of committee, Maulana Abdul Khabir Azan, will preside over the meeting. The zonal Ru'yat Hilal committees will also simultaneously meet at the provincial headquarters. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Hurriyat leaders and organizations have called for unconditional release of all political detainees, including Sayyid Ali Gilani and Mir Wais Umar Farooq, without any further delay. The leaders and organizations in their statements in Srinagar said that the detentions are nothing but political vendetta and the authorities have no legal and moral justification to keep them behind the bars or in-house detention during the holy month of Ramadan. Meanwhile, posters appeared in every nook and corner of the territory and expressed the resolve of the Kashmiri people to continue their struggle for freedom till the implementation of relevant United Nations resolutions. The posters also call for restoration of the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, in Brussels, the chairman of Kashmir Council Europe, Ali Raza Sayed, has said that the European Union should mention basic human rights of the people of Jammu and Kashmir in its dialogue with India. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has called on Taliban to halt fighting and observe ceasefire during the holy month of Ramadan. In his message on a start of Ramadan, he asked Taliban to prove its willingness for achieving peace in action and not in words. Meanwhile, in their separate messages on the occasion, United Nations, Canada and International Union for Muslim Scholars have also called on warring sides, including Taliban, to observe truce during the holy month. The United States will station 500 more military personnel in Germany in a bid to strengthen bilateral ties. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told reporters in Berlin after talks with his German counterpart, Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer, that today I'm happy to announce that we will be increasing the U.S. force presence in Germany. The World Health Organization has urged for a halt to the sale of live wild mammals in food markets to prevent the emergence of new diseases such as COVID-19. The call came in fresh guidance drawn up in conjunction the World Organization for Animal Health and the United Nations Environment Programme. NATO has called on Moscow to withdraw its forces from Ukraine and express the alliance's unwavering support for Russia's neighboring country. Addressing a media conference at NATO headquarters in Brussels with Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, the NATO chief Stoltenberg said that NATO stands with Ukraine. He said NATO and the West must act quickly to prevent an escalation of violence between Ukraine and Russia. The third T20 four-match series between Pakistan and South Africa will be played at Centurion tomorrow. The match is scheduled to begin at 5:30 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. The four-match series is level by 1-1. And finally, the weather. Partly cloudy weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, light rain with wind thunderstorm is expected in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Potoha region, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir during the evening and night time. Now some of the headlines once again. Federal Cabinet at a meeting in Islamabad today with Prime Minister in the chair discussed overall political and economic situation of the country. Foreign Minister says welfare of overseas Pakistanis and resolving their problems is top priority of the government. Central Ru'yat Hilal Committee meets in Peshawar this evening for sighting of Ramadan moon. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.